Most of you guys know me as Crypto Wendy O. I like to go by Wendy O, and I do a little bit of everything in the space. I trade part-time. It's more of a hobby now just because I'm so busy. I've got a marketing company, Beyond Associates. I do like influencer marketing. I do business development. I do consultations. I talk about customer service, just different types of stuff. I like to provide transparent marketing solutions for my clients. I also have a YouTube channel, The O Show. I do daily crypto news and charts, technical analysis. I've got a podcast, Trader Talk, that I interview different professional traders and we talk about trading. And yeah, I think I'm on TikTok. I do a lot of different stuff, do a little bit of everything. For me, my journey was a little bit different. I heard about Bitcoin back in 2011. A family member wanted to borrow our credit cards to buy Bitcoin to pay for something on the dark web, a computer part, because he was into building computers. I was like, no, I don't even have a credit card, and stuff is weird. So then I kept hearing about it on libertarian radio, like about Bitcoin. I was like, okay, I need to like invest in it. So during that time, I was working in infectious disease for HIV clients. I used to manage their care, manage about 200 to 300 clients a month. And then I kept hearing about it on libertarian radio on my terrible commute home. So I just had my daughter. I was in the process of quitting my job. I was at the company 10 years total and then going to school full time. I called my husband one day. I had my daughter. She was like screaming in my arms. And I was like, I'm going to invest in this Bitcoin stuff. And he's like, okay, fine. I'm busy at work. So I did. And then I was posting about it like on IG or Facebook or something because I wasn't into Twitter then. And a friend of mine, he reached out. He's like, did you invest in this? I was like, yeah. He's like, okay, me too. Let me help you. Go over to Crypto Twitter. And so I went over to Crypto Twitter and I was like, saw all these people posting charts and all these things. And then I was like, if some weird cartoon character can do it, I can learn how to trade. Because I remember I had gone into and I wanted to invest. This was right before I was planning on quitting my job. So I was like, I got to do something. I want to be a stay-at-home mom. And when I walked in, they told me I had to give them $25,000 to invest, or they wouldn't work with, or they couldn't, invest with them. And I'm thinking to myself, like, I have $25,000 because I had saved up to pay for college, but like, who wants to give somebody $25,000 to manage? Like, isn't that to me at the time, that sounded insane. So I got like very, very deterred. And then when I found crypto, I was like, oh, I can buy part of a Bitcoin. I can buy part of a Litecoin, part of an Ethereum, part of whatever, cryptocurrency I want and, do it at my own time. Cause there was different apps and whatever. Crypto is really kind of made me feel like more human, and it's more including, or like inclusive. Like, of course, like, not everybody's going to understand. There's always a battle between the maximalists and the altcoiners and that type of stuff. But it kind of just shows me that there's a chance. Like, no matter how poor you grow up or how hard your life is, if you want to take it upon yourself and put effort in and put time in to learn about crypto or to learn to trade or maybe marketing or sales or community management, there is a space for you. I think it's important, like for kids, like when you're talking to kids or like the younger generation about crypto and Bitcoin, is like, obviously, like, we want to make money doing it, but at the same time, there's job opportunities. And one of the passions that I have eventually is to start like a charity or to start something where I can travel to different underserved communities and kind of talk to these kids and be like, hey, your life sucks now, but I promise you it's going to get better. And, kind of introduce like different things that crypto and Bitcoin can do to improve their quality of life. Because I grew up really poor. I grew up not thinking that I would ever do anything important in life because, where I came from and, having the background that I had and some of the, the trauma and stuff that I saw. So, and like, I never thought in a million years I would work in tech. Like, because my dad had passed away. It was just my mom, and my mom worked in business. She was an editor at the Herald newspaper like many, many, many years ago, but she decided to stop working and take care of the kids. So it's just like her job was really just to make sure that we got up every day and went to school, but not really to talk to us about maybe getting into tech or maybe working in healthcare or some of these different things. And I feel like a lot of other kids and other people, they kind of feel the same way too. Is like they have to pick a specific path, and they don't think that they're good enough or smart enough to work in tech. And I don't think that's the case, because at the end of the day, if you can work in sales or you are a therapist or whatever it is you're good at, there's a space for you in crypto. There's a lot of other women, and I think there's some other women that are hiding behind avatars and they don't want people to know that they're girls, just because the boys can be mean. Like, I got bullied in crypto, like all different kinds of crazy stuff. I've had people just say weird stuff to me, like just bizarre things sometimes, and I'm like, no. And I make it known that I'm not on the market because, I don't want to attract that certain type of attention. I want people to take me seriously as like a, somebody that's professional in the space. Like, sometimes it can be a little bit hard, but I am used to hanging out with all guys anyways, and boys will be boys to a certain extent. Like, one of the things that I did is I would host free meetups in Los Angeles when we weren't on this crazy like lockdown. And the reason why I did this is I always did it for free. Sometimes I would get sponsors, but the reason why I did it for free and why I wanted to do is I wanted to meet more like-minded people that were in my local neighborhood, and I wanted to include anyone. And part of the thing about crypto is that if you want something, if you want to learn more, if you want to win, you put yourself out there and you ask questions. And it was just like a networking thing for everybody. And they were so much fun. They were so nice. And then, stuff happened, and, we can't really do events and stuff anymore. But I think meetups are so important. Face-to-face is important for me. And then I think too, some of these bigger companies, I think it would be really cool to see efforts being done at junior high schools or community colleges to because if you look at a community college, for example, you've got people from all different demographics there, different races, different genders, like everybody. So maybe reaching out to some of those places and, doing like a pizza night or a pizza meeting or, something like that, and kind of having somebody fun from the team come and talk about crypto and, just do like an educational thing. I think that would help too. Because, when I'm looking at it from a marketing perspective, is that people like free stuff. They like to come hang out. And I think that if you're targeting the younger generation, because they're the more tech heavy people, if you're kind of targeting them and you're like, hey, this is what we can do. Like, we've got classes for you, or like whatever it is, I think it would kind of help get them excited and, just kind of get that running through their head. Like, hey, I can do this, or, maybe just get them excited about it. That it's associated with criminals sometimes. And I think that they that's one of them, and probably two that it's just, we'll go with that one because there's so many. But I think a lot of people, like, just because the way the media is portrayed Bitcoin is that it's like for criminals, but really at the end of the day, when you look at it, like, cash is worse because you really can't track cash at all. Like, the only time you're going to track cash is if you're the FBI or the Fed and the bills are marked. But like money, like physical cash, is used for a lot of like unscrupulous things. Bitcoin is not for criminals. Like, of course people can do bad things with it, but like, you're always like, the great thing about diversity in the world is that there's people that do different types of things, and you can't, like, there's always going to be crime no matter what. Like, people are not, you're always going to have good and evil no matter what. I try to just explain to them that Bitcoin is essentially digital money. It's the same thing as using your credit card. There's just really an extra step. What I would recommend is like I give people a list of different mobile apps that they can purchase Bitcoin or cryptocurrency. Well, I always tell them to kind of start with Bitcoin first, just because, it's been around longer. Bitcoin is queen, but I generally tell them to download like a mobile app that they can go ahead and do the KYC and stuff with. And I know people like crypto people that are like, Wendy, what are you talking about? But really like an app like Gemini, because it does have a certain amount of FDIC protection. Like, there's more protection there. Like, it's not like, so there's that, and that makes people feel better. And then like, I tell them to kind of go down a rabbit hole and do some Google searches about Bitcoin and crypto, go on YouTube, all different types of stuff, and just kind of start, to start researching, and then come back to me with any questions, and then I'll guide them that way. I hosted a DeFi panel, I want to say it was almost a year ago. And one of the things, it was so funny because there's a guy that had a decentralized exchange or something like that. And he even said, if you're brand new to crypto, and you guys are going to hate me in the audience, if you're brand new to crypto, get on Gemini. If you lose your stuff on my exchange, I'm not replacing it for you. Like, so that's what he said. And he's 100% right. Like, you can't expect somebody with no tech background that is very nervous about using cryptocurrency to go on some random, Discord group and buy some OTC Bitcoin. Like, you can't expect them to even know what a private key is. That's why it's important for us to educate and to talk about this stuff, because you can't, like, people need help. It's a complex thing. There's a lot. real estate is going to be important, putting records on the blockchain. Um, Healthcare is a huge one because this is actually the opposite of what Bitcoin kind of means. But healthcare is currently very decentralized. There's like CVS, your Walgreens, your Kaiser, your Good Samaritans, all these different networks, like the hospitals, the doctors' offices, and they're scattered across the United States. If a doctor's office closes, like I used to have clients that would come from New York to California and they would forget their HIV meds and they'd be like, Wendy, I need my meds. I'm like, okay, well, you don't have any refills. So let me call your doctor. Doctor's closed. I'd be like, okay, let me call your pharmacy. Pharmacy office is closed, or the pharmacy is closed. So they would be kind of screwed because I couldn't get them their medication, because legally to get a transfer, I have to speak with somebody and they have to fax it over, whatever the deal is. And our healthcare system is so decentralized, but I feel like we need kind of like a central body to kind of pull information and pull patient data from. So stuff like that, stuff that makes the quality of life better for people and easier to use, then I think that's when we're going to get mass adoption. Also, too, we are currently in like this huge economic crisis. Will people use Bitcoin as a safe haven? I don't know. Me personally, I would feel more comfortable using a stable coin. Also, with the US digital dollar, the US digital dollar is coming whether we like it or not. Currently, we're in the run with China to competing to see who's going to have the first digital currency. So kind of with everybody getting Fed accounts, that's going to force people to really start to use cryptocurrency, or at least kind of understand what it is. I crypto because it allows me to be a stay-at-home mom and to be a mother to my child. And that's, at the end of the day, that's the most important thing, is being able to be home with my baby. I've been able to create like a company for myself and to create like a brand for myself, which is, I don't necessarily stay on brand, but I'm able to really be a stay-at-home mom. And that's all that I care about, is being able to raise my child and to give her the best quality of life. And crypto actually does allow me to do so.